So the Kuna language, I got to my first area, and this was on the mainland. It was Lomakova was the name of it. But a great majority of the people were Kuna. And so first day, sit down, my companion takes the gospel principles and throws it on my lap, but it's in Kuna. And he says, by the way, you're not speaking Spanish here, you're speaking Kuna. And he was kind of joking, but he didn't let me know that. And so I was looking through his book, and he said, yeah, people say it's just like English. He was from Costa Rica, and he spoke Spanish, but it's like, yeah, it's just like English. And I was looking through this book, and I was like, this is not anything like English. And I came into this apartment that was dirty and a cod and bugs everywhere and cockroaches, and they found out that I had this new language to learn on the first day, and it was a little too much. But the language is wonderful. I've actually gone back to Panama a few times, and I also usually have a lot of great ideas that I don't fulfill all the way. But one of my ideas was I wanted to create the first Tuligaya dictionary. I was going to make it English to Spanish to Tuligaya. So I actually have a lot of stuff saved down, and so if people are going to San Blas and need some tips on the language or kind of words, I could probably provide a ton of them. Just off the top of my head right now, Nueri is kind of the greeting, which is like hello, goodbye, how are you, it's everything. One of the ones you want to know is Mergi. Mergi is white boy. So if you happen to be white and you go to the islands, it's funny, I've gone back a few times and visited people that I didn't know on my mission, and I'd walk down the dirt road on this really small island, and all the people would be staring at me, and I'd just start speaking to them in Kuna, and I'd throw the word Mergi in there, and they would just bust up laughing. They thought it was the funniest thing in the world that this big white guy knew their language. And so one thing I would recommend is if you do teach people who are Kuna, you'll meet a lot on the mainland. And if you do have the chance to go to San Blas, obviously, but try to learn as much of their language as you can. You won't, most of the men know Spanish, but most of the women don't. And so you can't really connect with somebody if you don't know their language. But when you do, I actually got to go back 2 years ago on a nonprofit trip, 2 or 3 years ago, maybe longer. I went back with a group of people who had gone before, but when they went before, they didn't have anybody who spoke the language. But I went, and the project manager told me after it was over, he said, that was better than we could have ever imagined. He said, the fact that you could speak their language, it just opened up, I think, their hearts, and it just changed their whole perspective of the trip. And it was amazing how words just came back. A couple other phrases, you'll go to the Chino, which is like the place where the corner store essentially, and you want to buy some food, and if they try to rip you off, you can say "gargerba," that means really expensive, and then you can say "mani sate," which means I have no money. Money is like money. Sate is I don't have any. So it's really fun when you can learn those small phrases and be able to communicate with the people, because then they'll just treat you like one of them, and they'll accept you.